Good evening, good evening. Thank you so much for joining me this evening or on replay, wherever you're joining from. How I'm actually here at 8 o'clock, I'm not entirely sure. I've just abandoned my dinner plates downstairs and left Russ to deal with everything. And I've come upstairs, I just got ready, and I'm here today to do a live with you all. So thank you so much for hopping on. My name's Heather. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, otherwise known as the Songbird Stamper. And I come live to you every Thursday night when I'm not working, and I'm bringing you some crafting fun. I've just got back from work, so I've been working 4 long days this week, so hence my slight rush. And the desk was a mess, the computer wasn't set up, the video wasn't organised. But yeah, we're here. Hello, Louise. Nice to see you. Hello, Rain. Hello, Lisa. Hey, Joanna. Thank you all for hopping on. And I know last week we had a bit of a craft with the Cheerful Daisies suite, and I've got it again. I thought there's so much you can do with this suite, so I'm playing. I'm hoping I'm not going to exhaust all my ideas for the stamp camp, but yeah, I was having fun this week playing with the Cheerful Daisies. No papers, so slightly different look this time. We're going to go a little bit of watercolouring on one and maybe a little bit of stamping on the other. I'm hoping we get time for both. And see how you like them. How are you all? Have you had a good week? Crazy week, busy week, slow week, stressful week? Probably a whole mix of the above, to be honest, isn't it? Normally is, I think. Right, so let's get crafting. I need some cardstock. Everything's everywhere, I'm not kidding you. Right, we need thick cardstock. That's basic white. Because I've gone for a white. I've gone for a lot of white. Hey, Carol, nice to see you. Yeah, I've had a good week, thank you. Well, at work, we do 12-hour days, so crazy early mornings. Far too early. I mean, some people love early mornings. I do not. 5:15, my alarm goes off, which for me is far too early. I actually haven't had the best of weeks at work, but you know, that's life, isn't it? It's over. It's done. I'm here. Nobody got hurt. That's the main thing. We are all good. And then I've just come home and I've spent some time with my Fluffle, my little rabbit this evening, because he's not, well, I don't know. He's not drinking much water, which concerns me. And so I'm just cutting, all I'm doing, I should talk to you really about what I'm crafting. I am just, oh, you've had a stressful week, Joanna. Oh, bless you. It's hard work, isn't it, sometimes? I'm just cutting these card bases to 14.5 by 10.5. So I'm making 2 white card bases. I love a white card base. I should be more adventurous. I think this last year I've made so many white card based cards. Yeah, I really like them. And this is a bit out of my comfort zone. There's a lot of white on these cards, but I quite like it. I struggled with it at first, I'm not going to lie. So 2 card bases. You thrive on the stress most of the time. Oh, do you? Oh, that's good. That is good. I do not, because if my work is stressful, it means things are going wrong. If if the harbour is running smoothly, it's very unstressful. But if we've got stuff happening that shouldn't be happening, then it makes it stressful. And we want some basic white cardstock. So thick cardstock for the card bases, basic white for the kind of layer. And this is going to be 14 by 10. So I'm going to make 2 of these again. 14 by 10. It's been a bit better weather-wise here in the UK, which is good though. We've needed it. So I'm hoping that's going to continue a little bit, to be honest. Could do with it continuing. And now I've brought in an embossing folder. I don't normally do a lot of embossing folders, but I really like this one. It's part of a 3-piece set. So let me get you the other 2 if I can find them quickly. Dots and spots, and this one I thought would be nice as well, but I didn't go for it. Hello, Carol. Nice to see you. So this is the one I didn't choose, but I thought might be quite nice. It's kind of like a daisy star background. That's quite cool. And then you get this one. These are an online exclusive, and you get the dots and spots. And then we've got this one. Use white as your card base most of the time. Try to challenge yourself. Yeah, exactly. Try and challenge myself. But I always come back to white. I'm like, oh, I quite like it. And then this is the one that I've used. This is a really popular, this one. So they all come through as a pack. I actually can't remember how much they are. Bad demonstrator. But yeah, they're available on the online exclusive. So not in a catalogue, but from the online store. They're great, Joanna, aren't they? First time out for me, actually, this week. I've had them a while. And I'm just going to run these through our embossing folder. Did you know this little line down here is really, really helpful? Because what you can do is you take your piece of cardstock and you can line it up on this line. And that's really important if you've got a pattern that's got a like a pattern on. Oh, bless you. Thank you, Lorraine. About £24. That's not too bad. Is it £8 each? It's a nice, really nice set. And then when you know you've got it lined up on that line, you know you've got a straight. So I quite like that. It's a nice little handy hint for you. I'm going to run that through just using base plate number 1 and the grey folder because they're deep 3D embossing folders. And then you get that gorgeous pattern background. Oh, £28, so a little bit more, but I think totally worth it. Really nice, and they're so solid. They last for ages, these ones. They're really deep impressions ones. They're lovely and thick. So again, we'll just line that up and then we'll run that through. The Stampin' Up logo always goes on the front. So actually, I've got that the wrong way around. There's no right or wrong really, but I want that to be the front of my cardstock. And then that's always going to be the front. Oh, they love inventory, Joanna. Oh, thank you for the code as well. Really appreciate that, guys. Thank you. I should have done my prep work before. Prep work was panic today. But yeah, brilliant. So low inventory means they're very, very popular. I'm hoping they're going to stay online exclusives. We're never quite sure, are we? Will they stay or will they go? So got 2 of those and they can be stuck straight on to the card bases. Got no ribbon going around or anything, which is always worth checking. It's just starting to get much lighter in the mornings and the evenings. It's light when I go to work and come home now, which is fantastic. Makes a big difference. It's just I can not closing and locking up the house in the dark in the mornings. It's lovely. So they're just going to go straight on, white on white. They are absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. I can see this one being one of my most used embossing folders ever, actually. It's just subtle enough. Subtle enough to add it, but it adds that depth and definition and interest. Just be aware when you do use embossing folders, sometimes it can shorten, especially with these deep 3D embossing folders. It can change the size of the paper. And what I mean by that is you've cut it to the perfect size, and then all of a sudden when you're putting it on your cardstock, you think, oh, it's too short now. And that's because the cardstock has to go somewhere, and sometimes with the deep folders, because it's come outwards, it does change the length of it. So yeah, I love this one. So we're going to make 1 portrait card and 1 landscape card. But I do my card bases the same. So what have we got next? Should we do some stamping? Yeah, let's do, because otherwise just cutting and scoring card bases is a little bit boring for you all. So I've got some watercolour, Fluid 100 watercolour cardstock. And I've got the Cheerful Daisies stamp set. So I'm going to use the big stamp, and I'm going to use the big stamp, this one and this one. I'm going to use all 3. I love that you get the range of them. And we are going to stamp those in Versamark. But I'm just going to Embossing Buddy my cardstock first, and then bring in my Versamark try and do all three at once. It may or may not work because I may or may not be able to see where I've done it. So I've stamped one of each in Versamark. And I'm just going to heat set those with white powder. So if anybody here is new to heat embossing, this is like magic. It's one of my favourite things to do. And I've just got this white powder and I've stamped my image in a sticky ink. And then I've just, because it's quite wide this, I've just got my little spoon. I'm just going to throw my powder all over the table. I'm really good at doing that. If you've only just started following me, you haven't yet learned that I'm really good at throwing embossing powder all over the place. Okay, so that's that. I'm just going to have a try and get some of that back in. And this is why we work on grid paper. Okay. I got most of it. The worst one was when I threw it all over the floor. That wasn't funny at all. I know. I did hoover it up last time. Apparently that's really not good. Don't hoover up your embossing powder. Luckily I'd scooped most of it up. There's only a little bit and it didn't do any damage to my hoover. But the heat of the hoover can melt the powder. So yeah, do be careful. So I'm just going to heat set this with my heat tool. And then we've got our three images. I can bear. Oh, there you go. That's better. So we've got our three images that we can now watercolour. So I've got my watercolour brush, and the colours I picked out were Bubble Bath, Balmy Blue, and Lemon Lolly, because I thought they were quite nice. I have got a little bit of Daffodil Delight just to add onto the yellow. Otherwise it's really faint. The Lemon Lolly is beautiful, but it is a little bit faint. So I've done my big one. I've already made one of these cards, but I haven't made the other one. I didn't quite have time to get both of them prepped. So one is a given. I know where we're going, and one is not. So I'm just picking up a little bit of that ink with the block there, and I'll just pick up a tiny little bit of the darker Daffodil Delight as well. Oh, that's got no water in it. It's run out. Bear with me. Okay, let's go with it. So I'm just going to pop some water on some of these petals. I am going to come into the centre. Oh, that's quite a lot of water. I am going to come into the centre. I might need to mop some of that up. Just, there we go. But some of this might dry, so if you're not using much water and you've gone kind of light with the water, you might not be able to get all the petals done at the same time. I've gone fairly heavy with the water here, so they're not going to dry. And then I've just picked up some of that Lemon Lolly and just dabbing those onto the petals. So I'll zoom you in and then you can see a little bit better. There you go. I've got to be careful actually. I did this once before and it stopped the whole video feed. Actually, it wasn't once. I think I did it a couple of times. So that light Lemon Lolly just watercolouring those petals in. You can add more to make it darker. We're just playing, we're just having some fun. Got my watercolour course coming up later in the year, so places are half of the places are filled, so there is still room if you want to come and join us, but places are limited, so I can teach it and kind of get people confident and comfortable with watercolouring is my aim, just like I do with the blends course. I have loads of good feedback about the blends course. But yeah, if you want to come and join us, be more than welcome. Details are below in the description. They will be if they're not. So again, you can just keep going. I love watercolour. You can make it as dark or as light as you want. You can go in and keep adding. And then we're going to add that centre in a bit. Do you have to be careful how much water you use if you're not using... Oh, yes, Joanna, definitely. Yeah, you do. But you can't really use, sadly, normal cardstock with watercolour. You can get away with a tiny amount. The shimmery white cardstock was fantastic if you wanted to use, but it's discontinuing at the end of the month. If you wanted to use like a non-watercolor cardstock, but fluid, the shimmery white would take the water really well. Hello, Carol. Bless you. Me neither. I'm really excited for it. Can't wait to share everything with you guys. And then I've just got this balmy blue one. So again, I'm just popping some water down in those petals. And you get to learn your brushes. This, I must admit, this is not a Stampin' Up water brush. They were empty. Really naughty. And I didn't have time to do anything about it. So this is the balmy blue. And I'm just popping some ink down into that water. Just to give that colour. Thank you, Carol. It's one of my favourite things in the world to do, colouring. My dad always said I was happiest as a kid in the corner on my own with my colouring pencils and my book. At least I've progressed now to socialising a little bit. It took a while, but I got there in the end. And now I colour with you guys. That's our blue. And then I'm just, so all I'm doing is I pick the ink up on the block. There's loads of ways to do it, and I will teach all the ways in the course, but this is how I do it for ease when I'm just in a hurry. And they're staying really light, these colours, really light. And then I'll pick up some of this bubble bath, this gorgeous pink, and this is just going to do this flower here. Can you see? Am I on camera? Just, there we go. Again, really light colours. If you wanted to go kind of darker colours, you could absolutely do that. But I wanted to keep these fairly soft and subtle. You can still get a little bit darker just by adding a bit more of that ink in. But if you wanted it really dark, you'd have to add something like Berry Burst or something. This is just delicate. Okay, so that is our 3 flowers. Can you see them all on the same page? Just. So I'm just going to cut those off. We are going to want to wait for those to dry or dry them. And there is a difference. But as to kind of the finished results. But for me, it depends on time a lot. If I'm in a real hurry, I'll dry them with a heat tool. If I'm not in a hurry, I'll let them dry naturally. So we're going to let those dry. And in the meantime, I'm just going to bring that back out again. I'm going to try not to destroy anything. Okay. We're going to use the dies. So these are the dies that come with the set. Absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to use this one. And I would like 2 leaves cut from here. Now you've got 2 options. You can either watercolour the cardstock and then die cut it, which is what I did last time when I made the other card. The one I've just made that you haven't seen, so it's a little bit pointless me telling you that. But basically, I took loads of water, spread it all over the page, added some ink in, made it all different kind of colours of green, and then cut it out. But this time, I'm going to do it slightly differently, and I'm going to cut it and then I'm going to watercolour it once I've cut it. And it really, for me, there's no rhyme or reason between those two right now. I just want to try something different because I didn't do this yesterday. And yeah, I want to show you just one way of doing it. Literally is quite often I craft just like I fancy. I just fancy doing it that way. So we can cut one out at a time. I went wild this week and treated myself to using a new plate after this plate. There's nothing wrong with this one. It's just very bowed and very marked, but it still works fine. But I've treated myself to a brand new shiny plate. Look at that. And I used it because I was cutting something open and it was marking, all the marks on the plate were marking my open section of what I was. So imagine this die cut. It was marking all that. Hello, Sue. Oh, bless you. No problems. No problem. We haven't really, all we've done is watercoloured, heat embossed and watercoloured a few daisies at the moment from the Cheerful Daisies set. So you haven't missed a great deal. I'm supposed to be making 2 cards tonight. I don't know if that's gonna. One is already kind of made, so maybe we will get round to it. Yes, but once I've used that new plate now, I'm like, oh, I can't go back. I've been spoilt by a fresh new plate. So I'm just cutting 2 of these fronds, which I think are going to be great for Christmas. These actually. So I'm just cutting 2 of those out using my cut and emboss machine. And we were debating, should we watercolour the cardstock before we die cut them or after? And I'm going to watercolour them now. So I've got a little bit of scrap grid paper, just so I don't get this one messy. And I've got lemon lime twist and a little bit of granny apple green. Again, you can pick it up using the block. And then just make the die cut nice and wet. And then you can just add on some of this ink. A bit messy, but I quite like messy inky techniques. And then once you think you're happy with that, you can leave that to dry. You can add on a little bit more dark. I think I want a bit more dark going on into those leaves there. And then again, if you were doing a different colour, you'd wash out your brush, but because this is actually all going to be this kind of green colour, lemon lime twist and granny apple are so close. They work really well as a dark and a light, so you can get away with this. Not washing your brush. And then just dab on some of this colour. And then we're going to leave those to dry. They're fun. I like doing that. So I think that's going to be. It just reminds me of Christmas, that leaf. Not in that colour, but okay. Then I want to cut 2 of those in This is my new chamois from the other day. I went wild and used it. Ah, hey Katie. Yes, we're doing a little bit of watercolouring today. So that was just, we were watercolouring some kind of die cut leaves. I'm now going to die cut 2 in just a normal basic white cardstock. We've got our flowers which are drying, which I'm going to misplace, aren't I? Our flowers which are drying. I know, Joanne, it's just how many do you keep buying? When can you officially buy a new chamois? And how many kind of class chamois do you need? I have a lot of class chamois, where my ones have been deemed no longer nice and shiny and purple. That's the other reason you like them, Joanne, is because you love purple like me. So you just want your nice, shiny, fresh, clean chamois. So last week on my Facebook Live, on my YouTube Live rather, I used the same suite as this, but we were using some of the papers and it was a much different colourway. Here I've kept it really light and fresh. So I've got two of those leaves, and I'm just going to stamp in Lemon Lime Twist. That's why I think I like a new chamois anyway. It's all sparkly and purple. And I'm going to grab a little block, and we want this leaf. There's no real way we can watercolour the leaves as such. So we're just going to, it's already out. All the stamps are all over the desk, which is really bad. I'm surprised I don't lose more stamps. So I'm just going to do some full strength and some stamped off. Full strength and stamped off. I'm just rotating it to save space because I'm hoping I can get all 5 along here. And I want another one, but I actually want it stamped off. I just want 2 of the darker ones. Now there is a die for these, so and it cuts out really nicely actually. Or is it? It cuts those serrated edges on those leaves, but I'm not using it because I'd have to do it 5 times and line it all up, and it's just quicker for me to fussy cut them. It doesn't matter about the ends. Don't have to get the ends right because they're going to be tucked underneath everything anyway. Quite often on leaves we tuck the ends underneath, and that's what we stick it down by. And quite often I end up chopping the ends of the leaves off anyway, so it doesn't matter to leave them like that. I'm officially glad my week at work is done. I've got class tomorrow, and then I've got the blends course on Sunday, day off on Saturday, which I'm really looking forward to, and then back at work for 7 12-hour night shifts next week, which I can officially say I'm really not looking forward to. Yeah, I will, thank you. I'm really looking forward to class tomorrow. Always enjoy teaching. Right, so these are kind of dry. It's kind of dry now, so we've got everything's kind of drying. Doesn't matter if we get a bit of ink on things, but you know. So look how these leaves have come now, if you can see. Can you see the white bits, the dark bits, the light bits? I really like that. Really like how that's come out. And then with this is totally kind of optional. I'm just going to stamp the flowers of the center of the flowers in. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to clean that leaf off actually because I'm being naughty with my new stamps. Oh, it is a lot. Yeah, it is a lot of work. Not looking forward to that. Ugh. Yes, I've actually got 3 weeks off. I've taken some leave afterwards. So I've said, because no one else can do the cover shift. So I've said, look, I'll cover them, but I'm taking some leave afterwards. So, and it is overtime for me. But Joanne, I'm very, very much looking forward to Sunday. Can't wait. We're colouring flowers, one of my favourite things to colour. So that's just the centre. I mean, you can barely see it, but it just adds a little bit of texture in the middle. So I think it's worth doing. But it doesn't matter if you don't stamp the flowers, the centres, sorry. Yeah, we're colouring flowers and looking at blending and shading different colours, and yeah, I love that one. I love that class, so always a good one to teach. Yes, thank you. So I realised the other day I've been getting really grumpy at work, and I realised the other day I haven't actually taken any proper leave since November. So I figured it was about time. Again, I stamped that off because last time I felt I did it too strong, but you can barely see it, but it just adds a tiny, tiny little hint of texture into the middle. Don't get me wrong, I've had time off, like I've had kind of days off and long runs of days, but it's not been actual leave. That's just my rostered shifts. And then that one, look how that just adds that little thing up there. We are having a break. I'm really pleased. Yeah, we're gonna have some time off work, which is good, and I think we both need it. Yeah, it'd be lovely. Right, so what we're going to do, we want to cut these out. Now, there are dies for these, and I think they cut so well, I'd be silly not to. So, we've got, and they can all cut at the same time. That's what I quite like. So, as long as I can figure out where it goes, which is the challenge. I think it's the other way up. Okay, so that one goes around there like that. Then this one goes around here like this. Oh, that's brilliant, Katie. Well done. Oh, fantastic. It's nice to do a course sometimes, isn't it? It's nice to learn something. And then this one goes round like this. This was actually why I treated myself to my fresh cut and emboss machine plate, because I was finding it hard to line all these up with my wonky plate. It was just moving them all the time. Okay. So I'm not averse to using dies, but they've got to be worth it. And I must say, this set of dies is for me. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. Aren't they pretty? And so different to last time where we just used the dies. So this is yeah, really different. So we've got all of our elements there. Now all we need is our card base. We are rocking and rolling. We need our lemon lime twist cardstock, and this is from Stitched Shapes dies, so it's a stitched square. Ah, that's brilliant, Katie. I'm super chuffed for you. And you're such a kind and lovely person that mental health first aid would be a really good thing for you to do. So that's just going to cut that out. They're lovely, aren't they, Carol? Yeah, really, really different. So it's a very, very versatile suite, this one. Okay, then we're going to cut just using a piece of cardstock. And this is going to be, I think it's 8.1, but let me check. Oh no, 7.5. 7.5 by 7.5. Oh, the embossing folder is one of the online exclusive set of 3. Let me get them back, Katie. We saw those right at the beginning, but it was early and quick. So that just layers onto that white piece. So you got the first one, and then the second one, and then the third one. That's the favourite. I think everybody's like, I love that one as well, but may be a bit busy. I'm not sure. So yeah, that's the winner at the moment. Oh gosh, no, don't you worry. Not late at all. So this is just going to start to layer together now. And you could do this in lots of different colours as well. Yeah, really cute, aren't they? Super cute. Dimensions, not dimensions. Not sure. Let's put everything together first and then decide. So we've got our leaves, which we want. We're going to stick these two kind of coming out like this. We're going to overlay them. Glue or glue dot. I'm going to go after my upline's heart and use some glue dots. She's teach me well. Ah, hello. How are you, Mary? Mary, you are cute. But also late. Yes, we'll forgive you though. How are you keeping, Mary? Are you doing all right? Keeping well, keeping sane. So just glue dot to glue dot. And Katie wants me to put that up on dimensionals, which I think I may well do. And then we're just going to keep adding this with glue dots. I'm kind of looking, I mean, that's where it's going to go roughly. So I'm kind of looking just to make sure that wherever I put this, it doesn't like extend out too much far from the card, because we don't want that, because then it will just get rucked all the time and in and out of the envelope. Oh, was it? Oh, Mary, lovely. Did you have a good time? How was Jeanette and Katie? Oh, I was working. I'm really hopeful I can come down 1 month soon. So again, just layer them together using a glue dot. Did you tell the people that you did well at your sale on Saturday? I did not. No. I did very well at my sale on Saturday, actually. I was really surprised. So thank you so much to everybody who came and everyone who bought something. Yes, I sold £400 worth. So really, really chuffed. So it means I can invest a little bit more back into the business and get some new stuff to play with so that you guys can see it. And then this is just going to go off kind of down to this side, I think. Again, trying not to make sure it goes like too much outside the borders of the card. Oh, Lisa, I was stunned actually. I did, yeah, and I had such a lovely time. I had 9 new people like giving their contact details for classes as well, because they were interested in classes, and I've got 2 coming tomorrow morning. So that is absolutely fabulous. Yes, it was a really good, and I had a thoroughly lovely day meeting like-minded crafters. It was just, I didn't buy anything. I was super chuffed with myself. I didn't buy anything at all. Oh, I'm so pleased they're good, Mary, that they're both keeping well. That makes me happy. Oh, I did not tell you that, but yeah, it was lovely. It was a really good day. So we're absolutely a good day's work. Whoever said that one, really, really worth it. And I shall go back. I've got another one booked in for September. And I've still got, I mean, you would hardly think I sold anything, judging by what I brought back. But yeah, Stampin' Up stuff is good quality. Everybody said that who was purchasing. They knew the quality of it. And because I'm selling in person, I can sell a bit cheaper, because I've not got to post it, I've not got packaging, I've not got to get to the post office. It's all there in one place. So yeah, I was really chuffed. So thank you. You've had events like that in this area. You have loads to sell. Yeah. I wish you had events. Yeah, it's a lovely, lovely company. They've been doing them for years, and they're so popular. I mean, it was really well attended. Even like for the first one, it was the first one in this venue. They're expanding and doing more venues. I'm just curling these leaves. Just curling these leaves. Just to give it a bit of pop. And then I've just got to decide kind of where I want to place everything really. So I'm going to have a couple of leaves coming out the top. This is the hardest part. I faffed for ages when I did this. So I think I'm just going to have to go for it. I'm going to use some dimensionals. Shaz, this is amazing. This suite. We used it last week, but this is totally different. I'm going in a totally different direction with exactly the same stamps, and that's what I love. So versatile. Can be half the challenge. Yeah, absolutely. Getting customers there, and the nice thing is, so many people when they do craft fairs, that I've done loads of craft fairs in my time, and too many stall like craft fair providers get the table money and then don't advertise. But Alexis isn't like that. She's very, very committed to making sure that everybody has a good event who's paid for a table, and she does a lot of marketing. So yeah, it really was good. It wasn't just a case of grab your money and see you later. You, on the other hand, could have bought stuff in. I, on the other hand, have bought stuff in the Stampin' Up sale. Please. Oh, have you, Mary? Brilliant. What did you get your little self? I'm intrigued. I'm really nosy, and I love seeing what people buy or hearing about what people buy. So nosy. My mum used to say it was bordering on rude, but no, we're all different. When I was a little kid, I used to get into stop staring. You stop staring at them. So I'm just popping these leaves under. I'm just curious. I'm a very curious person. And we'll have one coming out down here. You ordered the milkshake, but oh yes, Katie ordered the milkshake bundle and the lighthouse dies with me. So very grateful, Katie. Thank you very much indeed. They'll be winging their way to you slowly but surely, is the words I'm going to use. We will get there. We will get there. Okay, so that one's going to go down there. And then I'm just filling out these these leaves at the top, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with this pink one in a bit. You ordered the bundle discount for a milkshake. Ah, yes. Compulsive. What are you? A compulsive what, Mary? I'm confused. It doesn't take much. Okay, let's pop that under there. I'm hoping all this is sticking. I haven't really. My leaves probably could have done with a bit more sticking. It might be a fragile card, but we'll see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. This is why, Katie, I wasn't sure if we need dimensionals on that because it's already fairly dimensionaled. I think flat. I think if we dimensional that up, it's too much. So I'm going to go flat, I think. First of all, though, I'm going to use some new ribbon. And I'm going to tie myself a lovely bow. Look at this. How thin and beautiful that is. Come on, camera. You can do it. That's better. So yeah, lovely piece of ribbon, this one. And it ties a beautiful bow. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I was worried about that too, but I think it's going to be too high and bulky. I kind of want the flowers. I want the flowers to stand out. So I'm going to stick to my guns. And I'm going to go. And I'm just trimming that down. So that's a little bit of ribbon. And that is going to go. Yes, you'll see where I'm going in a minute. So I'm going to stick this down first of all. Then I can see what I'm looking at. This is going to go here. Oh. Oh, come on. Right, that's going to stick down there. And then we can think about how we're going to add these last bits in. So we want blue dots. Daffodil Day. Oh, I love Daffodil Daydream, Mary. Oh, you're going to have good fun with that one, I can tell you. And the Evening Evergreen stamp pad, more green. Yeah. Oh, buying in the sale, compulsive. Do you mean impulsive? Was it an impulse purchase? I am good at impulse purchases. Ross, on the other hand, is not. He is very, very methodical and kind of strict with himself. I am very impulsive. So that's going to go there. And then I think this is just going to go. When I first did this stamp, I thought it went that way up. But it doesn't. It's a daisy, so it comes that way up. So you actually want the dimensional on the top if that's what you're going for. And I'm going to put it's going to go one underneath there, and then I'm going to put one on top of there. So I'm going to make it nice and high. So it's a double layer at the moment. And that's what it's going to look a little bit like. And then what we've got, now this is a punch that's retired, but it's not my retired. It's like it's not retired in my head. It's still current in my head. So where's the fun in that? I know, right? I know. He's just so methodical and thought out. And I'm just like, let's just get it. Let's get it. I want it now. Texted him the other day with a camper van place. I was like, should we get a camper van? I know we've got a tent. I was like, well, I know, but wouldn't a camper van be cool? So we are yin and yang, and he keeps me in check, bless him. So that's not what I want. I don't want white card. I want some of this cardstock, and I have got we can't afford a camper van, but it doesn't hurt to go and look, does it? You never know, you might come back with a bargain. And we've got the thank you stamp. The fun for Russ is seeing the bank balance increase massively. He does like to see the numbers go up. He thinks he's going to be able to afford to retire at 55. I think he might be retiring on his own at this rate. I don't think I can afford to, He can be a man of leisure and do all the housework, and I can go out to work. That's fine. So I've got the Versamark. I know the camper van would be cool, but yes, we absolutely do need to do some research. We need to get some more use out of our tent first as well. We bought it just before lockdown. The sad thing is Russ then sold the car that the tent fits in, and it won't go. All of our glamping stuff will no longer fit in his new car. So we didn't think that one through. So that just is thank you. Where is the thank you from? You are going to ask me, so I'm going to try and tell you. It is from a new set, which is this one, Timeless Arrangements. If you cut 3, would you get a full daisy? If you cut 3 of, let me have a think, Mary. So there's the thank you. This has got some lovely, lovely sentiments in it. And yes, I thought it was just a really cute font. Let me just heat set this one, Mary, and then I'll be back to you. Okay. So the daisies wise, you've got the die cuts. They all layer, and they layer with this one as well, I believe. So like this layers on top of there, which is really good. So that one layers on top of there, and that one layers on top of there. But with this right, I mean, you could absolutely do it, and you would get some form of a. You'd see some of the petals underneath, but the petals don't come in far enough. I was going to show you the one that. Which one am I going to show you? This one. The petals the cuts don't come in far enough to kind of give you that ability to build it up and rotate it round. If that makes any sense at all. And then I'm just going to punch this out using this set. I should tell you, I've been thinking, I haven't quite got any plans in motion yet, of doing a bog off sale with my retired products. So if you purchase retired products from me, you then get to choose the same value out of the new catalogue in May. So you get not only retired products, but brand new products as well. So I've been thinking about doing one of those. We did one once before, and it was really, really good. So you get double the amount for your money, basically. So watch this space, because I've been thinking about it. And then that's going to kind of go on like this over the top. But I've just got to try and figure out how to stick it down, because it's a bit fiddly. Yeah, absolutely, Katie. And I mean, they're deal really, because everyone gets more for their money. The stuff gets a bit of a clear out. So yeah, it worked quite well last time, so I thought I'd give it a go. But I have yet to get around to it. I've got loads on my plate before our break in May. So I'm not convinced I'm going to be able to add another thing to my plate this month. So it might be a June bog off sale. We'll see. So I've just put a little bit of dimension left and right on this one. And then that's going to fit over the top here. And then kind of squidge down. Kind of be a bit. So it's a nice, it's a lovely sentiment, that one. And I just thought that looked quite nice laying over the top. But it's a bit wibbly, wobbly, but I think that works. And then I've got some gems. Thank you, Shaz. Thank you, everyone. I don't know where all the hearts are coming from, but that's lovely. And then these gems come with the Daisy Suite. So I thought we'd add a few of these on as well. Very unusual for me to do a white card. I'm still not overly convinced I love it. It's just really different for me. But I would love it to see that you love it. So, and then I don't really know where to put them. That's the problem with these kind of gems. We'll just put some in and see where we think. I wish I was better at gem placement. Oh, thanks, Katie. Totally different to last time. Oh, I'm struggling. Where do I put it? That'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Yeah, perfect. We need spring, right? It doesn't feel like it. It feels like winter again, I must say. That's because I've been stuck at work all week, I think, and I just need to get out into some sunshine. So there's one card. And then I kind of had a similar idea. We've got 5 minutes left. That took an hour. How does it take an hour? How does it take an hour? So thank you, Carol. Yeah, really bright and cheery. And then my kind of thought process was that I would make one landscape. And I've used the Countryside Corners stamp set. So you get one big stamp. So you probably haven't seen me use this one yet. And then you cut it out with the dies. So I've cut one of this die out of Lemon Lime Twist. And then I've stamped this and then cut round the outside of this one. And that's, you can see the stamped image there with that die. And that kind of gives you that nested. So they are really cool. Thanks, Lorraine. Yes, so a little landscape. And what I was going to do is go blue. I was actually going to do some real blue flowers for this one. I kind of make it different to this but I don't know if we're going to have time, and so I don't know. Could stay on longer. I have got to prep for class tomorrow. I haven't even done that yet. I don't know what to do. What should we do? I'm going to stamp. I'll stamp some flowers. I'll stamp some flowers, and then we'll see where we go. So, what colours shall we think? I was thinking azure afternoon and balmy blue. I was thinking all the blues. Ah, you're not going anywhere. Bless you. Bless you. So, and then maybe I've just got to get that card out of my head. I tend to do matching cards. I make 2 cards. I'm wondering whether we do blues and greens. And we kind of do some blue stamping, because I haven't shown you the infill stamps on this stamp set. So these infill inside here, that's kind of where I was going. So I'll give it a go. We'll do a bit of stamping and see what we think. So I've got this one, the big one, I will do in azure afternoon. This is such a lovely colour. Gorgeous. Yeah, I just thought I'd do something different, but I'm not sure. I like making sets of 2. So I'll see if I can get out of that mindset. And then while we've got the azure afternoon out, so what I'm going to do, this is the infill stamp, and we're just going to stamp off just to make it a little bit lighter. So that's stamped off just on my grid sheet. How pretty is that? And then we'll do the same with the other 2 as well and see what they look like. And we can do the insides. Don't forget to stamp the centres of the flowers. I'm not entirely sure how this one is supposed to line up. Feels like it might want to go that way, but it feels better being that way. Not entirely sure. I have to watch some demonstrations. So then we've got the outline, which we can do. Let's do that one in blueberry bushel. Let's see what these 3 colours. I've not really tested this, so I don't know how these 3 colours are going to work together. We'll see. I'm always up for an experiment. And again, just ink that up and then stamp it off, just so we've got that lighter. Oh, now I've got to line it up, haven't I? Is it this way? Oh, come on, brain. There it is. You're going to be the boss of this. I can't quite tell how I'm going to like this. And then go balmy blue, I think, and we'll see. I didn't think boho blue would work with these. Oh, it's quite nice. They're all different, but I think they go. And then of course we just want the little bit. There's a little bud on the top there, and we'll do the same in blueberry bushel. This may or may not work. We'll see. Well, that's quite dark now, but that's nice, isn't it? So again, I've already done one of those, so we can just do a few of those. And then we will do we want stems? I don't think we do we? Let's cut those out and see what we think. I'll use the dies again just because it's quick and easy when you've got all 3. Oh, they work together, Mary, you think? Those three blues. Yeah, I like that. Blueberry Bushel and Azure Afternoon. They seem to work really well. I must say, I didn't realise how many people were blue fans. There's quite a few. Just as soon as I realised there were so many people who liked blue, I have tried to start doing more blue cards. There's our card base. That's lovely, isn't it? I'm not sure about the blue, the balmy blue actually, but we'll go with it. We'll go with it and see. I just shape my flowers. That's nice though, I must say. Blueberry Bushel. I was never really a fan of Blueberry Bushel when it first came out. We're looking at leaves and die cuts and all sorts. And then I will do, I think I'll do a sentiment in white coming off the side of this one. So let's die cut some more of those. So these are just the white ones I'm going to cut for the time being. I must say, I think I prefer my spring-like colours. Oh, you want blue foliage? We could do actually, couldn't we? Could add in a bit of blue rather than the green. Take the green out, leave the white, and then we could watercolour some blue as well, couldn't we? I'm up for that, Mary. I'm up for doing some blue foliage. Let's cut another one of these in white. I wish there was more of this dye. And then I could cut multiples. So now let's cut some out of the watercolour cardstock. And then we can add some Blueberry Bushel and some Azure Afternoon to these. But I don't think I'm going to add any leaves behind this. I don't know the actual stamped leaves. Might avoid stamped leaves. So die cuts are a little bit harder to get out of the Fluid 100 cardstock, but they do come. Just tease them out. It cuts beautifully still. Yeah, it would, Mary, actually, that dye. I can see a lot of purposes for this one dye. I can see a lot of people using it in some really unique ways. many of these should we do? Should we do 3 of these as well, just to be sure? I feel like I want to add some Wink of Stella to those blue daisies. But... Okay, so we've got 3 of each now. Let's put that die back. Just all these little bits. It's just ever so slightly fiddly, but not too bad at all. So I'll bring back in my crazy good paper and we'll do a little bit of watercolouring on these. This is where I started. I was actually trying to do lemons and limes, using the lemon and lime set with the new colours. That's what I had planned to do tonight, but I'll quickly show you the box. This is what we're going to make. We might do this another time. I was going to make a cute box with you tonight. I don't know why I didn't. I changed my mind. So a little bit of blueberry bushel and a little bit of azure afternoon. I just couldn't quite get the flowers. The flowers were annoying me a little bit, and so I just gave up. I should have persevered, but I went in a different direction. So I'm just watercolouring these a little bit, and then this is going to be really dark, this blueberry bushel. So just add on a little bit of that diluted, and you can add in some of that gorgeous. Depends whether you want them to be really dark or you're happy to have some white on there as well. That azure afternoon. And then I can grab that out and then wait for that to dry. Beautiful. Ah, you love the citrus as well. I know. I really must play more with it. It hasn't really had a proper outing. My downline made us cards for swaps during team training, and I absolutely loved it. She totally inspired me, but then I came home and did nothing. Oh, so disappointed in myself. I was like, oh, I meant to do that. And it really hasn't had any use. So this has come out really dark because I haven't diluted it. That's again, it's okay. Just gotta, what effect are you looking for? It's good to have some light, some dark, and things tend to dry lighter as well. So and I've left some white bits on there. So all is good with the world. I need more hours in the day. I need more crafty hours. That's what I need. Decided. This grid paper is like soaking wet now. Okay. I'll leave these to dry. So you can always get your heat tool on these as well. I mean, they dry fairly quickly. How gorgeous are they, Mary? What a lovely idea. Well done. Those are the blue. Let me bring them into shot a little bit better. Those are the blue ones that we've got. What, Carol, for the box? Is that, which dye did I use for the box, or which dye did I use for this leaf here? They're lovely, aren't they, Joanna? They've come out really nicely, actually. Didn't doubt you for a second, Mary. Not for a second. I'm just not sure about my flowers now. Don't know. What do you reckon to these blue flowers? Okay, I'm just gonna have a. I like that blueberry bushel one, I must say. Ah, for the box. Okay, now this is possibly why I didn't share it with you. Because I got these as an overage in my artisan box. I have told them about it. I have been totally honest. But I wasn't supposed to have them, and I hadn't told them, so I hadn't noticed. And then as soon as I noticed, it was this set of dies. They're called the, oh no. Yeah. Can't remember, delicate darling details. That's what it's called. Darling details. And then you get this one, and then this was the one that I used for the box. Gorgeous, isn't it? Comes with a stamp set. And I thought we'd just been sent the dies as a standalone. And then I saw one of the other team use the stamp set. I was like, oh, I didn't get a stamp set. And when I looked, I was like, oh, but I wasn't supposed to get the dies. So I messaged whoever's in charge and told them. But I was waiting back for them, and I was like, well, I probably ought not to use them in case I've got to send them back. But no, I've been told I can hang on to them, which is great. Good old Stampin' Up. They treat us nicely. So what do we reckon? What do we reckon? This blue on here. It's a lovely set, isn't it? Can you see where I mean? Where I'm going about Christmas? Now I just want this white underneath. I don't want that one. Can go over there. But if we put the white underneath over the top of the blue, it just helps it to stand out. And I'm kind of wondering. I might have to think about this offline. I'm exhausted after a 48-hour week. But this is kind of where I'm going with it. I don't think I want that blue one on. I've decided I don't like that. He's been rejected. Poor little thing. Get rid of him. And we're kind of going along that line there. That's where we're going with that one. And I'm going to bid you good night halfway through a card. Oh, bless you. Thank you so much, Joanna. I'm going to finish it, I promise. I'm going to finish that on Saturday. That will be my mission. And then I will bring you the finished card. And so for now, it's getting there. It's absolutely getting there. I think I like it. I'm gonna start struggling because it's 9:15. I'm tired. Oh, bless you. It's not rejected, just hasn't. It's time to shine. Actually, I literally threw it across the desk. So maybe I will lovingly place it with some of my other flowers, and I will give it its time to shine later on in life. Oh, bless you. Yes, thank you, Katie. I will absolutely share the finished cards when I've finished them. But yeah, that was fun. So a really different. So this one's watercolored. So heat embossed outlines and then watercolored insigns. I love that technique. And then this one is just plain simple stamping, but just a bit of stamping off to give that really different look. Oh, my pleasure, Carol. Oh, I really do enjoy these lives. But yes, got home from work, literally wolfed some tea down, and then hopped on the live with you. So I'm ready to go and sit down and chill out for a little bit before bed tonight. But my pleasure to spend my evening with you. And I think I won't be here next week. I've got to work. I'm really sad. Yeah, I'm on the night shifts next week. So I won't be here next week, but I'm hoping to be here the week after. So I might do a video and then upload a video, see how I get on next week. And then you can all watch like a premiere video on the Thursday night. Yeah. Oh, I'll miss you too. Yeah, I really do enjoy these. So thank you ever so much. Thank you ever so much, everybody who's watched live. Thank you to everybody who's watching on the replay as well. It means an awful lot to me that you spend your time with me and in an evening as well. So it's good fun to chill out, hang out, and do a little bit of crafting with you. So until next time, happy crafting. If you would like to know anything about any of the products I've used, please do check out the links below. If you'd like to know anything about my course, again, get in touch or the links below. Take care. Thank you, Mary. Look after yourselves. It's been a lovely evening, and I'll see you all again really soon. Bye, guys. Take care. Goodbye.